All right, time to slim up this summer, not for vacation, for the flight to vacation. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and a record 222 million passengers are expected to fly this summer. That's 4.5% more ago. So, well, suck it in. Just don't reach for a pillow and blanket and try to sleep it off. New research shows they're likely not washed. And that tray table you're eating on, a mom was changing her kid's diaper on it the flight before. Then there's your luggage below. Chances are it's brushed up against 80 million bacteria before it's back in your hands. And don't even get me started on that restroom. Let's just say, better to hold it in. Well, forget how you're being crowded like sardines on a plane, surrounded by babies, leaving little surprises and a whole lot of germs that stand to leave you very sick. Where's Samuel Jackson when you need him? Fortunately, we've got the next best thing. Some of the brightest minds when it comes to investments and staying healthy. Gary Halpom is the travel expert. Mark Murphy is here. We got Dr. Rosie Shohan on this all-around flight mess. And Gary, first to you. Passengers getting squeezed. Airlines make money, but at a cost to us. I'll bear out in a second. What do you make of this?
Neil, I think you just killed the airline industry single-handedly. Wow.
But,
look, the squeeze has been going on for quite a while. In the last decade, you went from 11 airlines controlling 80% of the capacity down to 4. And whenever that occurs, prices are going up, and they have constrained capacity, and that's why you're getting what you are getting here. And until that dynamic changes, it's just it's a tough road. Now, I still do think it's a good value to get a few $100 from here to there, but it's just not what it used to be.
Mark, you know that probably better than anyone. You fly more than most people on the planet. What do you do to protect yourself, health-wise?
Health-wise, well, in my book, Travel Unscripted, I wrote about first-class germs because you got people around you coughing and just spewing things and everything else. I know that I'm always around bacteria, and it's good for me because it builds up my immune system, but come on. Bring some Purell. Wipe down that tray table before you start touching it. Those are a few things you could do. Sort of, you know, short of wearing a total bodysuit, I think that's about all you can do.
Well, that's pretty sad, but thank you for that. But, Doctor, I mean, constructive advice.
Wow.
I mean, I hear the Purell thing. I hear, you know, sanitize everything. A lot easier said than done. What do you do?
What do I do?
You laugh at it all. I like that.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at your diaper story, which unfortunately is true.
Yes, it is.
Some cabin crew staff have said that they've seen more diapers changed on those tables than they have food set on them.
That I could deal with, if assuming that they're cleaned up afterwards. A lot of times they're not, right?
No, well, you're assuming, you have to look at the lowest common denominator. You're assuming that the people changing the diapers have actually cleaned the table after they've used them to do that. But knowing that,
do you, and obviously the meal, if it is served to you, whatever class you're in, do you wipe the table down yourself? Do you just eschew that altogether? Say no? What?
Well, basically, due to the fast turnaround times that are required from the cleaners cleaning these airplanes, right. Essentially there are shortcuts, and not due to due to them, but there's a small number of staff and asked to do things very quickly.
I know. Do you avoid the meal then, or do you avoid anything on your tray?
No, it's not so much the meal. I think the onus is you to, as been stated, is to clean that table. And the other thing is that those seat belts have been cleaned less than those tables.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even think of that, Doctor.
and the thousands of people who touch those seatbelts.
Well, this is the burden that Gary is facing in first class as well, but that is no refuge, Gary, just so you know. Mark touched on it. First class coach, it's the same bacteria assault. Yep. What do you do?
Purell and baby wipes. I don't think there's much else you can do. Look, airplanes are airplanes. You just have to deal with it. Travel is a gargantuan industry for leisure as well as business, and you just got to take it as it comes. Again, do whatever you think it takes. Look, I go on to airplanes. I see people wearing masks still, so that goes on. So, look, it just depends on where you stand in the germaphobe line.
All right, now, Mark, we like the convenience, we like the fares, I guess. So people put up with this, but when you look at the bright side of it and say it's a way to make your body more resistant, only you can find a half-full glass of this, even though it might be a bacteria-filled glass. But short of that, what do you do? I mean, how do you keep strong? Do you have a lot of vitamin C, a lot of what?
Hey, eat right, exercise, go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. But let me just tell you something. You know what we could all do collectively? We could shame these people. I mean, if you were changing a dirty diaper on the tray that someone after you is going to eat from, that's disgusting. You need to call these people out. I had a guy this morning basically take his luggage out and just pile drive it into my briefcase, clearly sitting in the seat. And I looked at him and I said something.
When Cal does that. He thinks he's like the center of the universe, and he never ever thinks of other people. It's ridiculous. Well, Doctor, bottom line, I mean, we all have to be aware we're squished up there together. So any rules of thumb you follow that we should all follow?
Yeah, I think it's more important to clean that area rather than maintaining your own immune system, because I think most people have a good immune system. I mean, the people who are pregnant, with diabetes, who are immunocompromised in any way, which is numerous number of people now, because immunocompromised doesn't just mean cancer treatment. There's a numerous number of diseases that are treated with biologics and immunosuppressants. So it's very important to carry those spritzers, those Purell bottles and wipes. And it's not a laughing matter. The other consideration is to make sure that you clean your suitcase handles, etc., before you unpack and put them on your hotel bed.
Wow. Guys, thank you all very, very much. In the meantime,